Hi everyone, my name is Lydia and this is what I wish they taught me about econometrics and introduction. In the previous videos, we have focused quite a bit on hypothesis testing on two main approaches, the critical value approach and the p-value approach. In this video, we're going to use the critical value approach to work an example. This is the data that we will work with. Suppose we have an estimated regression and we have the beta hat as 2.4, we have the standard errors of the beta hat given as 1, and we've also been given information on the sample size being 30. The question that we have to answer is testing whether this coefficient is statistically different from 0 at the 5%. And I'm highlighting because this is very important data that we need to use when we go through the steps that we learned for this procedure. Let's start by using the first underlined part so that we can follow step 1 of writing our hypothesis. Remember, this came in two parts. First, we have to write the null hypothesis, which is, as usual, beta is equal to 0. And then the alternative is going to come, again, from the first underlined part, because all we're asked to find is just whether that's statistically different from 0. So we're not asking bigger, smaller, just statistically different from 0. That means that beta simply different from 0, okay? Already at this stage, we're going to emphasize so that we don't forget it for later on, since the alternative is that the beta is different from 0, it means I will be running a two-tailed test. Okay? I'll also highlight it so that we don't forget it. So this part has already been cleared. Let's move to the second step, which would have been computing our test statistic. And for the test statistic, we had our T star formula, which was beta hat minus the beta of the null divided by the standard errors of the beta hat. But here, lucky, beta null is just 0, so we don't have to worry about it. So that means that the T star is simply 2.4 divided by 1, which gives us simply 2.4. Okay? So it seems that our estimate is 2.4 standard deviations away from 0. The third step, which was very closely related to this, was understanding the distribution of our T star. And this T star, under the null hypothesis or the Gauss-Markov assumptions, should follow a T distribution that has degrees of freedom n minus k minus 1 normally. Well, this is a simply simple regression, so we can just directly write this as n minus 2, okay? Because the k would have been just 1, simple regression. So given that information on the sample size here, the n is 30, that means that the degrees of freedom that we have are 28. Okay, so this is telling us which row in the T table we're at. Then step 4, we need to find the critical value. And for this, remember, we needed 3 important bits of information. We've already put it down from the first step that it's a two-tailed test. We know that it needs to be at the 5%, and we also know that it's 28, the degrees of freedom that we have to look up for this value. If you open up your T tables, then you will find that the T critical for this particular case is going to be a number that is very closely to 2.05. Okay, so this is the value that it's defining the boundary between your typical outcomes and extreme outcomes. So step 5, now let's make a decision and then we can make an interpretation. In here, I'm going to follow my own advice given in the previous video because I love using graphs just to make sure that I am not looking up any wrong numbers and I'm not maybe just copying a wrong number and then getting the wrong result, especially if I'm under stress in an exam. So the visual part is also for anchoring me so that I don't make any mistakes more than anything else. I know that I have a t-distribution, okay? I know here this is my 0. I know that I have a two-tailed test and the significance level is 5%, which means that I have here a t-critical where anything beyond these t-criticals is my rejection area. I now also know that this t-critical more concretely is actually 2.05, and on this side is minus 2.05. I know this area is 2.5%, and this area is 2.5%. You don't need to write the areas, but this is also a reminder that this is what we're doing. So I know where my critical values are. I know where I would need to be rejected with the null hypothesis. So now let me put the last element, which I already computed in step 2, and it's my t star of 2.4. So 2.4 would be somewhere here, our t star. And we can very clearly see that it's in the rejection area. So when I write my rule, I have that in absolute terms, my t star is actually bigger than my t critical. And this graph is very clearly showing me exactly the same thing. So what would happen in here? It's we reject the null hypothesis. Okay? So the estimate is outside the acceptance region. Okay? So what that means is that we have enough evidence at the 5% level to reject it. So the estimate is too extreme to be explained by randomness alone. Now, this result does not mean anything about the economic meaning of this value, okay? So the effect, I don't know whether it's economically large or not. We don't have enough data to talk about whether the model is correct or not. Here, remember, I wrote right beneath in here under the null hypotheses and the Gauss-Markov assumptions. So I'm making a lot of assumptions here, and in an actual exercise, you will have to make that judgment on whether you think that the Gauss-Markov assumptions are being fulfilled, because it's only under these assumptions that, again, the null hypothesis, the null hypothesis will hold, and all of these tests will hold. Otherwise, we will struggle to be able to accept any of the results that we get out of these sort of tests. Okay? I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.